Welcome to this series where we are learning Victoria 3 by playing the Sweden tutorial game. In the last part, we shift the focus towards sorting out our politics. And while it's not perfect, I think it is working. And quite interestingly, if you watch the previous video, you'll be aware that we were trying to enable private schools. And quite literally, a couple of minutes after I stopped the video, this law actually triggered. Now, so that means we've now got to choose another law, and we've got, it says here, pass into institutional law, change current health system law. So what we'll do is we'll look at that first, and then I'll talk a bit more about what we go. I am tempted with colonial affairs, but we've got, basically it says private healthcare, and we've got no support for public healthcare, but we got a 20% there, and we got 79% a bit indifferent. So I think we will follow the tutorial and implement that. So that is okay. We'll just come out of here, and the game is just running forward very slowly. And one of the problems I would like to concentrate on is actually fixing the budget, because we've got a whole load of problems here. Now, one thing I am a little bit concerned about, and that is that our economy, we're getting a lot of radicals. You can see if I highlight here, and I'm not exactly sure what's actually causing the radicals. Let's see what we got here. This is one of the fun parts of this game, is the nested 14,000's coming from the standard of living, and we got a massive 40,000 from political demands. I think that's because we're upsetting the rural folk. And at the moment, we still got quite a predominantly rural community. And I think if we come into the markets and look at it, it says goods with considerable import demand. Wow. We got grain, which is, I think that's an essential. Now, there is a way to find out what the demand is. And what happened was, I watched somebody doing a playthrough of Victoria 3, just out of idle curiosity, and they got this menu up, and it took me a long time to work out where that menu comes from. And I think what you've got to do is come into here, and then, where is it? Can't find it now. And what you see is it says here, average standard of living for lower strata. And if you come down to here, what you do is you get this whole breakdown of the cost of what your population needs. Now, this is the whole population, because I don't know. I don't think they need luxury furniture. I mean, luxury furniture is relatively expensive, but you can see the key ones here are clothes, grain, furniture, which are all things that are suggested imports. Now, the other thing I've also found, which is similar, which is a little bit more complicated, and I think this is one of the problems with the game, is that if we come to, we've got population here by profession, and then I think if we break it, we've got the detailed list, that's it. And then what you can do, if you expand this out and go down these, what you see down here is whether these people are happy, and it's a bit of a slow, time-consuming process. There's no doesn't seem to be an overview, but wow, we got here. It says this pop is accepted in Sweden. Okay, and then what you get is something like this. It says struggling, and so what we got here is Swedish Protestant peasant in Scania. And if you see the breakdown here, this is a bit more refined. You can see that they're complaining about the basics, which is furniture, clothes, wood, grain. And that's something I would like to kind of possibly fix in this part. So the first thing what I'm going to do is come to the markets. But I think the one thing I've got to do first, I've got to think about this. I think we need a trade route, because we need clippers, because I think we might run into problems. So the first trade route we're going to set up with, and one thing I've realized, I had another what you would call light bulb moment, in the fact that because I play city building games, there's this focus very much on self-sufficiency, and that's to a certain degree, that's why I've actually been playing this game. But what you need to remember is, if we come back to budget, some of our budget actually comes from tariffs. Now these tariffs actually are made from not just exports but from imports. So trade routes, as long as you can you've got the clippers or convoys, as I think the proper name is once you, as long as you've got the clippers that can make all convoys available, what you can do then is actually make money from this. So actually, let's do productivity. So the Hanoverian market would be quite good. I think another advantage with the Hanoverian market or the French market is that I think we've got a land route. No, it needs seven. It needs 7 convoys. So what we're going to do is we're just going to get the for that we've done. So the next one, wine, liquor, and we can import liquor and make more money from the Danish market or the Russian market. I think we're just going to go for that. I'm just going to go overboard and see how it goes. Let's let the game run slowly. We need paper. There's no profit in paper, so we're stuck with that. No profit in grain, so we're going to have to try and fix that ourselves. Clothes we can bring in from the Hanoverian market as well. We're just going to let the game run. Now I am building a clothes factory. So that's... Now we've now unlocked railways. So we've got to pick another research now. Oops, sorry, research technology. Now, I was thinking a little bit about society and possibly researching quinine, because long term I would like to build some colonies, but at the same time I'm kind of thinking, got military, and I'm not particularly interested in the military. I think we'll stick with production. Now, nitroglycerine could be a good one, because what that will do is allow us to expand our mines or put a new production method in the mines. That I've got to remember to get my head around that. And that actually leads to dynamite. Steam donkey, we could put a steam donkey in the mine as well. That would take 7 years. Well, it's only going to take 23 months. And we've got a water boiler here. I think we're going to go for nitroglycerine. Actually, we've got baking powder here, actually. What's this? That's 23 months. I think we'll go nitroglycerine. It's intuitively that if we can improve the quality of our mines, we might get something going here. Now we do need to solve the budget deficit, so we're just going to let that run forward. Now we've got to deal with wood and paper to try and get our market up. We also need grain. Let me just see. Buildings, rural, livestock farms. We don't actually have much in the way of grain farms, do we? We don't have any wheat farms. Okay. I wasn't aware of that. I thought we had grain farms here. We've got rye farms. What do these produce? These produce grain, so if we could improve the performance of these. Oops, sorry. I'm just wondering whether we could shift one of these to producing more grain rather than... This is producing liquor and grain from potatoes. That's 6. We got 2 farms in Svealand. What are you producing? You're producing apple orchards. I'm just going to pause actually, because we've got central banking. We got plus 10% more thing. Right, we've got nothing being constructed. I'm just going to need to think about this. Gotland, apple orchards as well. I think what I'm going to do, we go back to that. What we got. Yeah, well, what crop is it? Oops. I wonder if that's going to reduce the cost of grain, or whether we need to build another market. Let me just see details. Grain. So the grain is actually stabilizing a little bit now, and we're making some money. I still feel the price of logs is dropping. What we need is paper. Paper is here. Cost of paper is still rising. No potentials on that. Applications. Yeah, you just see. We've got paper production there, paper production 0 there. So we're producing paper in Svealand. Let's see. Can we improve our paper production? I do wonder if we import sulfur, can we get an import trade route for sulfur? Where is it? Paper, sulfur. No, there's no profit in that. Well, as far as I know, we can't mine sulfur. Let's just see if we got any sulfur mines. No. It says potential. We got a lead mine, which could be potential. So we can't really or could we import sulfur a lot? But the production is really bad. Okay, we're gonna have to try and do this another way. I think we're going to have to expand our paper production. What I want to do is just keep that in profit so that we can build back our gold reserves. So we're going to be building quite low-level buildings to begin with. What have we got here? Inefficient agriculture. Industrialists have started complaining about the existence of subsistence farms in Scania. They serve a purpose. Yeah, I think we'll do that. So we're building that up. Let's just have a look in Scania. We've got a little bit of infrastructure. Now we have researched railways as well. And I think if we come in here, look at buildings, what railways do, as far as I know, they produce transport. And I've got no idea. And I think certain industries need transport for certain techs or upgrades is what I think it is. So, and we also need engines. How the heck do we manufacture engines? Okay, buildings. How do we manufacture engines? Railway. Can we manufacture engines? Mills, motor industries. How do I actually find out about this? Okay, just gonna put one in here and click here. This produces engines, but if we build one of these, what does it actually need in resources? I'm confused here. Sorry about this, guys. I think this is one of these situations where we can't actually building a conscription center in. Actually, can we upgrade the barracks? What was the barracks? I haven't really looked at barracks. Sorry about the digression, guys. Again, we got skirmish infantry, but that actually requires this costs us money. I don't really want that because we're expanding the paper mill. I'm just gonna let it run so that we can build the paper mill. We've got a ship here. What's up with this? We're building clippers. Okay, pause again. Sorry, guys. Paper, wood, Swedish market. Wood prices. Yeah, but then again, we are building the... let's get here. Logs is expanding. What is the price of hardwood that we've got? Hardwood we've got there, so we're producing logs in there. I think we're producing Not producing logs in Gotland. Oh, wow, that's an omission. Yes, we have. We got resources up here. So this is producing sawmills, but it's not actually producing hardwood. It's actually just prioritizing softwood. Right, so this is where we need to actually expand this. But have we got the infrastructure? Yes, we've got 7 infrastructure in here. So we need to expand that. Norlands. What's this? Says the armed forces have expressed concerns over the government decision to clearly favour the interests of the industrialists. They need to accept they cannot always be everyone, please everyone. 10% interest group political strength. I assume that is the industrialists. What's the political strength? Just minimize that. I'm not exactly sure what the correlation between clout and political strength is. This is not affiliated to any party. I do wonder whether when we reform the government, we've got 54% legitimacy. We bring the intelligentsia in and take the landowners out. Ah, horrible, 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 horrible. Take the intelligentsia out. The landowners, the petty bourgeois. No, so we're stuck with what we got at the moment. Armed forces. I don't want rural folk. I want the landowners back in. Gives us 54% legitimacy. Armed forces reduces us to 30%. Okay, there's just reset. Fix it. Yeah, there's not much we can do at the moment. We just don't. Please everyone. So let's again. Armed forces. Actually, we could make the armed forces positive by doing this, couldn't we? Yeah, I think if we do that. That will make the armed forces positive and a little bit happier. Have a look at the budget. Investment pool, national, temporary national revenue, investment pool trader. So at the moment we are making a little bit of money. Okay. Right, let's get back to here. So we're working on wood, we're working on paper. The next one is iron. Where's the... Look at the market for iron. Fish is expensive. We got wood. Price of services is dropping. I mean, wheat is there. Iron is just... Let me just see. Right, this is nice expensive things that... Wow. Everything's expensive. Ah. Need more iron. Can we... Right, so where is the iron? I'll just close that down on the rye farms. I'm kind of a bit inclined to get some more crops for iron mines. What have we got here? What can we improve? We've got atmospheric engines. I think maybe we need to go to that. The atmosphere engine was successfully completed. Okay. Now we've got rail transport here, but if you look in this, it says transportation plus 10%. So you can't really go to that until you've built railways. As well, as far as I know, we've got nitroglycerine. That will improve the quality of the mines. So we're just going to keep building that. Okay, what have we got up here? There's through the widespread introduction of atmosphere engines, industry productivity is all-time high. They utilizing atmosphere. Wow. I think we're going to take that. Should hopefully start. We let the game run. should bring this down. We still got to address the military goods. So that gets this up here. So let me just go back to standard of living. See what we got here. So clothes is still high, fish is still high, furniture is still high. Services are wood. We've done that. Groceries is very high as well. So our groceries are in here. Wow, there's just so many things to do. We're making money here. Sugar is expensive. Why farms, wheat farms. So if we expand our wheat farms as well. Okay, let me just come here. Buildings. We don't actually have any wheat farms, do we? Right, where's the rural area? So we got this area over here, but we still don't have the workforce here. So if we were going to build a wheat farm over here, we don't have enough workforce in here at the moment to even support the livestock farms. Is it? It's not Scotland. That's mining. This has got natural harbours. I think not Scotland. Sorry, Scania. Right, we got Scanian soils here. We get plus 15% for agriculture down here. We got rye farms. And we got, at the moment, we got 36% subsidised farms. So that's just chemicals. We can grow rye farms. Why can't we grow wheat farms in? Okay, let me just do it this way then. We got no locations that will grow wheat farms. We've got to grow rye farms. Interesting. Never knew that. I presume it's got to do with temperature because obviously wheat, this is the northern latitudes. There, let's come into here. It's the fertilizer that's going to have an effect on this rye farm. Right, we need to work on fertilizer. Actually, can we import fertilizer? Bring in import fertilizer. Oh, look out, we got a good market here. Say we import fertilizer from. That should drive the price down. Where's the... Okay. Back to Scania. It's a coal mine. It's the rye farm. Right, so we reduced the cost of fertilizer to nothing. Wow. That means that we could auto expand this rye farm here. What are you producing? You're producing liquor and grain. I mean, if the food is cheap, can we like have a bit of a purge here? What are you? You're producing apple orchards. And where's the? We got rye farms here. What are you? Or was it up here in? Maybe we're just pushing a livestock farm up here in this area here, and we'll just try and get that going. Right, we do need now. There's just think about producing the. We need the engines, isn't it? So let's just go to this one. Resources, industry. Why can't we build engines? Coal mines, agriculture, livestock farms, bro. Why can't we build engines? I thought we could build engines. Get rid of that. Urban. Motor industries. Let me just see. This builds engines. And it needs steel. Now, we don't manufacture any steel at the moment, do we? So, could we import steel? Iron, steel. No. So, in order to be able to get the engines built, we're going to need to build steel. We can import tea. Interesting. So we need a steel plant. Okay. Will this let us build steel? This obviously... Oh, there it is. Steel mills. Oh, 97 people in... Got 7,000 people in Gotland. Right, let's just see if we can work this out. Scotland has got iron mines, and it's... That's feeling. Scotland, let's get rid of that. Zealand is the natural place to build a steel mill, but we've only got 55 out of 58 infrastructure. We've got 27. So if we build a steel mill here, how much will this actually need? Come out. Oops. Size 1 of 1. I think we're gonna. What we're building here. Right, so we're building a rye farm, 2 rye farms, a livestock ranch, and a steel mill. So I think if we can get that going, we should be able to. Okay, let's just have another look at our standard of living for our impoverished. So the grain is dropping, fish is still expensive, clothes are still expensive. What we got here? Right, we've unlocked canneries. That could be worth looking into. Take it from what we got here. With the course of some healthcare systems, many are questioning whether the money so they will come from. Some are suggesting simply taking it from tax funds. The government should find another way to cover it. Private insurance enacted, minus 1,300. Oh, in tax income. That sounds expensive. 2,600. Sweden gets tax health. I think we're going to go. We can get by without it. It's probably going to bounce back on me big time. But right, what was it we were looking at? Is clothing. Still not producing enough clothing at the moment. Just wondering if we import dyes, can we actually import dyes? Okay, we can get a small amount of dye from the Danish market. I think this is where it becomes quite important to start looking at colonies, because we could import dyes from the Danish market. Right, we're going to do that. And we're going to see if we can get to here. We'll change our production to dye workshops. And it says dye is very expensive, minus 20. I don't think this is going to work, is it? I'm just going to let the game run a little bit and see if it... Oh, no. So the prices is okay, actually. Right. So we're now in a position to dye. Will that bring down the... Wow. Got logistics now. Description of battalions. Where's dyes in here? Just wish there was a way. Is there any way you can sort these alphabetically as well? Right. Yeah, so we're importing the dyes to actually do what we need to do. That's good. And again, it comes back to what I was saying, is that I think we got a steel mill here. It comes back to what I was saying, that you need to kind of get away from this idea of self-sufficiency, and you need to think a little bit more about trade as a way of making money. Let's have a look here. You can see there, see, we're making 4.31 from tariffs. I've got absolutely no idea where the minting comes from, whether that's just implied by our thing. So expensive government goods again. Doesn't this ever let up? Expensive military goods. Trade routes need convoys. Are required to operate your shipping lanes. I think the convoys come from ports, don't they? Is it shipyards or ports? Is it ports? We got cargo port here. Whoops. I'm just wondering with this. Yeah, so the ports need clippers. We need another port here. Might have increased that bit there. So we've got our queue. I think we're okay. We've got another 20 weeks to make the steel mill. But the trouble is iron is still expensive. So I'm kind of wondering, we're using atmospheric engines. I think we can throw that iron mine here. This is where we've got the bonus for the bits and pieces. Budget, we've got normal taxes. I could increase the taxation, and then that would help with but it will increase our rate, reduce our legislativity. I think we'll just leave that the way it is at the moment. I think the other thing we can do is actually reduce wages, but I think that causes problems as well. That affects the intelligentsia. Increase cost by 3.6. That would give us, I think what we're going to do is I'm just going to reduce the wages and see what happens. I mean, if it all goes wrong, it all goes wrong. I mean, actually making a fortune there. Stop messing about. I think this is part of the learning process. You've got to make an experiment and see things go, right? What we got here. The canvas of ideas. The intelligently find it difficult to find the cheap paper they need to immortalize their thoughts. So the wretched state of affairs, the professor said that is a sequence. We will secure the pages of tomorrow's classic setup. Paper import to the Journal of Sweden. Okay, we're got absolutely no idea what that's doing, but does that mean we're actually creating an import route for paper now? Yeah, but there's no profit in paper. Plus, we're getting more and more convoys. We need more convoys to address this issue here. We can unproductive trade route close. Well, we'll get rid of that now. Does that mean the price of clothes has dropped? Or is it just that the market's collapsed? Let me just see the price of clothes details. Yeah, we're getting closer now with the clothes situation. In fact, I'm kind of a bit inclined to push that up again. One more. Just wonder, if say we put a clothes factory in what's it? Gothenburg here. Say, for example, that can I build a clothes factory here? Don't understand that. Textile mill, it's not clothes factory. That would make a profit. What's the infrastructure? We've got 24 out of 29. We got fairly hot inflation. Right. Just want to do it this way. Resources, let's industries, clothes, textile mill. I think we're going to put a textile mill in there. Right, the population is growing here. Just wonder, is it going to be worth putting government administration in available labour and peasants? 0 peasants. See, there's no labour here. Best we can do is put in, we could put a fishing wharf in. We still don't have enough workforce here. Slaughterhouse. We have private health insurance. Okay, pause. Just look at this. So we've now got private health there. It means endorse their recent change. So that helps the industrialists. Blacksmith health out. Okay. New institution available. You've managed to reform the first of many laws of countries, so we need to do an institution. All right, we'll look at that in a minute. Looking at this, we got 10% more things. We got meat. What's the price of meat at the moment? Is it profitable? No, we've got a quality, so there's no point improving that. Right, so we got to have an institution now. Let me just close that. Oh, so many things to think about. Institution. It doesn't tell us. Level 2. Mortality per wealth. That tells me a lot, doesn't it? But game is telling me that 0% effective. Increase the health system investment level. Okay, we'll just increase that. Incorporated population of the investment. Base count there. Education. Okay, changing. We'll just let that run. I can't see the benefits from that. If any of you know, feel free to chuck it in. There's increased infrastructure. It'd be okay. Any building is a railway. Tell me why. Infrastructure is crucial for the industrialization. Many buildings increase your infrastructure usage. The heavy manufacturing industry is adding most. Having a market access below 100% is not always the end of the world, but it impacts on your local price. You can address small infrastructure shortages with road maintenance decrees, but the temporary solution is best for the hard mainly countries to come by. You cannot use it. Okay, so make an interest group happy. There's increased relations. Okay, we're gonna have to look at some of these. There's oh, that's it. Where's the railway? Where did the railway group go? Infrastructure by railways. Tell me how. Let's open the trade. Start building a railway in Zealand. Railways are always function most other buildings to take time and money and concerns. They require engines and some kind of fuel to operate, providing transportation. Close the trade lens. Okay. Open the railways detail panel in Zealand. Is it railways? Both POPs and other buildings can purchase transportation to fulfill POP needs as part of the production method, but if demand is low and the cost of input goods is high, railways can easily become unproductive and lose employees due to low wages. To ensure optimal access for rail-based infrastructure, you will need to subsidize railways either by a specific starters there. Open the railways button, click the development, open the buildings panel. Okay. And open development. It is possible to construct. It is possible when construction completes, the railway becomes fully employed. State infrastructure is still insufficient compared to infrastructure uses, but you can construct more railways as long as you ensure they both stay profitable or subsidize them. In your opinion, okay. Yeah, the trouble is, if I build a railway, I need engines. I'm not sure how. I mean, could we import engines if necessary? Let me just see. Where are they? Engines. There's no market for engines. I suppose we could import them at a loss. We need steel in order to make the engines, don't we? This game is getting complicated. It says increased relations with Russia. Well, we know why. It says here, opening the country's diplomacy tab here. open any country's diplomacy tab. Well, we've got to do it with Russia. So we got to, is it right click, open diplomacy. It's here, common. Here you can see all the diplomatic actions you can take against the country, whether or not they're likely to accept or not. Is an offer it requires their show attitudes, show relations with Russia. So the better the relations of certain things. Okay, relations are naturally decay towards neutral over time when not maintained. It must decay. So that's that there. Okay. So we've got to increase relations. Tell me how. Improved relations is a type of diplomatic pact that can be found under the diplomacy lens. Select the relations department. Is it diplomatic actions, isn't it? Then we got to improve relations. How to increase relations. Okay, we'll just click Russia. Okay, so we're going to improve relations with Russia. I mean, I suppose if we improve relations with them, things would be a little bit better. I suppose in some ways by doing that, it stopped them attacking us because they are on our border. In interest group happy. Approval rating of the armed forces to 2. It's all happening now. Let me just pause again. Sorry about pausing. Okay. We select a new law. We haven't selected a new law. Okay. I'm kind of appointed bureaucrats. We can't change that because that's a regressive law. Migration controls. Again, that's regressive. Mercantilian, free trade. Landowners, rural folks, trade unions. I don't feel trade routes. No tariffs. Oh no. Intervention. Well, this looks a bit more proper. There's not much support for this, is it? Laissez faire, industrial. Wait, stop it. Yeah, loan interest rates. You can subsidize trade centers. No, agrarian. You can. Don't really want to boost aristocrats. I'm kind of moving towards colonial affairs. Wow. Okay. I think we're going to research colonial, well, not pass a law on colonial affairs. Colonial resettlement, well, plus 100% migration attraction from unincorporated that enables the colonial affairs institution, plus 0.1 colonial generation. I think we're going to take a more positive thing with colonial resettlement rather than colonial exploitation. So we're going to go for that law, and we're just going to let it run. Okay, realism unlocked. We got arts and academy production methods. Okay, got lots of things. Solve the budget deficit. It's almost like it's telling us that we unpin these because it's getting a bit crowded up here. Increase infrastructure by railways. Okay. Let's just have a look at this here. What have we got? We got all sorts of stuff here. Increase relations. Okay. I'm going to slow the game down a little bit again. I'd like to get that, so I'd like to keep in the positive for the moment. But let's just have a look and see how well the furniture's still expensive. Fish is expensive. Wine, clothes is still expensive, but we're still working on a clothes thing. About fish, what's the market for fish? Where is it? Right, we've got nitroglycerine. Okay, so we've now, I think, because we've gone for colonial, I think we will research quinine. Now, if you're not sure why I'm researching quinine, is well, off camera, what I was doing was looking around where we could build a colony. And I actually quite like this area here. We kind of click on here, information. It's the overview. We've got turmoil, but if you look at the buildings, what you look down here, you see we've got bananas, coffee, cotton, dyes, livestock ranches, millet, sugar plantations in Fang. Here we've got also bananas, and I mean this seems to be a very wealthy area to get in and colonize, but the downside is that it's got malaria. It says here minus 95% colony growth speed for non-homeland states, plus 25% mortality. And if you come to research technology, look at quinine, it says +1 max colonial affairs, and it says removes all effects of malaria in your own colonies in states, allowing establishment of colonies in states with severe malaria. I don't think I've ever seen with severe malaria, but we need that to fit with the law over here on reforming colonial affairs. Otherwise it's just not going to work. And if we could get a colony down in this area here, maybe Fang or something like that, and colonize it, it'd be really good. So that's the idea, but whether we actually, but I'll be completely upfront, I'm not too sure how that's actually going to work. I still would like to keep working on the population breakdown of the radicals. Still living standards we got. Okay, let's go back to here. Low market access in Svealand. Right, so we've got low market access, so we need to build the trains. Do we have is the steel mill operating? Okay. Unemployment. Is this? So we could subsidize this. I mean, we've got no demand for it at the moment. That's the thing. Oh yeah, we added nitroglycerine, didn't we? Okay. Buildings. Urban. No, raw, isn't it? Iron mines. Right, where do we get explosives from? Can't build it in Svealand. I would guess that it's arms industries, but why can't we see railway? So many things to think about. So we can't build. Okay, let's go back to imports. Explosives, no market from the French market. Although I'm kind of getting trouble. Oh, wow, let's just look at that. Oh, I never noticed that before. So we've actually got. This is what we're exporting from where? Wow, we're exporting a lot of liquor and stuff like that. Okay. So I'm just gonna let the game run. If I set up an export market for steel. Can we build a motor industry? Right, let's just have a look here. Right, it's back to here. Industry, motor industry. Scotland's got 90 peasants. It says we're going to lose money, but I just want to get that because we're. Did we finish the train? No, we haven't. We're still building the iron mine and the things. So we got. I think I'm gonna push that up a little bit. So we're going to, we put the motor industry before the railway. We should get that going. Right, we need to make the steel mill profitable. Water tube boiler. Okay. I think we're going to try. We're going to export to the French market temporarily. See if that will drive up the price on steel mills. But we need this to build up from an employment perspective. I think we edict. Let's put a road infrastructure into Svealand for the moment. As a fix, what that should do is get us back to 100%, although it's not the end of the world. That actually gives us more infrastructure rights. So we've got a pause again. Canneries. What is this? Is this iron or steel? What do we get? More groceries. Quite like that. Although, yeah, I think we can get away with the canneries. We got pot stills here. I think I'd rather produce food. What's the market price for groceries? It's high, but it's. I think we can do that. We'll just produce a surplus of food prices, granaries. Just want to see if that will pick up. Fish is high. Where were we getting fish from? Fishing wharves. Fish is still high. Got fishing trawlers. We can't improve it that way. I'm kind of thinking if we can push that up a little bit as well, because if the price for fish is high here, iron is the big issue. But just, is there any way I can improve my steel industry? Nitroglycerine. We can't import. Got 3 routes here. Productivity. Predictive. Explosives exported. They're exporting 8. Actually, I just had a thought. Chemical plants. What's the price for fertilizer? Because we're importing fertilizer at the moment. We're actually using more fertilizer than... We don't want to produce fertilizer. What consumes fertilizer? Raw livestock farms. We've got a surplus there, so we could probably do it for all our livestock farms. That should. Right, I'm thinking. Is our gold reserves, they're rising, but very, very slowly. We still got a debt. We're paying 2.4k interest on the debt, but what are we doing here? We've got all this lot queued up. I'm kind of thinking, actually, is there any way we can Look at these. No, we can't. Okay. We've got space here because of this. We got in Scotland, Zealand, sorry. We got 29 of 25. We get a chemical plant in here. We can. This produces. There's market access infrastructure for. That would take us just exactly to the limit. Construction active queued. Yeah, but we're building something here as well, aren't we? So, I think we're gonna have to hit jolly old Svealand again, and we're gonna put a chemical plant in there as well. Right, guys, I'm just going to let it run a little bit, let things settle down. What we got here, it's chemical plants. I've just noticed the time, so what I'm going to do is we're just going to take another look through it. Cannot support more declared. Can support one more declared interest, yeah, but that's actually what we can do. Just going to do the declared interest actually, which is diplomatic, and we're going to declare an interest here in this part because that's where we're going to go. So we'll get that out of the way. We got sweet paper. So I've just played for about an hour and I still got exactly the same problems as I had before. Iron and wood, and I don't think we can. See if we can do it. Import iron. Right, we're going to bring iron in from the Spanish market. Is very productive. And what was the other one? Wood and paper. Where's the wood? We can bring wood in from the Prussian market. And we're bring up. So paper's the one we need to fix. I'm just going to let this run and we'll see if these will settle down. And let's have a look at the market prices now. So iron, wood and iron is dropping. So we should be making more tariff profit from that. And we got one more message here. It says diplomatic tour. The ruling ancestors of charismatic Arnold Holson have initiated a great promotional tour. The decision to focus on efforts of domesticity and internationally have been left at the last minute. However, it's unclear if the industrialists are popular for sport. They get 5%, one more approval rating. Sweden gets diplomatic tour plus 10% influence. The influence is good because that's up here for 5 years. But we're not exactly using our influence at the moment, so I'm kind of a bit more inclined to go that way and get that done. Well, we are improving our relations with Russia. 24 to 20. We've increased the healthcare system. I think that is actually finished, isn't it? Let's just check that. No, it's still going. It's going to take another 17 weeks. Wow, it takes a long time to do things, doesn't it? Anyway, guys, this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. And until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.